masters of survival lift again? Or has their tank run dry?
Well, the Doggies do appear to be running on empty at the moment, so all the key statistical indicators over the last month prove that fact, and they're also running out of players. That's another hard fact. But they meet the Adelaide lineup also struggling of late. Who will have the run in their legs in the final quarter? That could well be the key this afternoon. As I say, hello and welcome to the MCG, the home of football, Saturday afternoon footy. It is the Western Bulldogs hosting the Adelaide Crows. Stephen Silvani, how do you see it?
Well, it's another tough day for the Doggies. Obviously, a 6-day break coming back from Darwin, and they're up against a very good side in the Crows, who have hit a bit of a flat spot, but they've got three big names coming back in Rashuto, Biglands and Hart.
Beautiful day for footy, and well done to Dylan Addison, a Sydney boy taken in last year's draft. Another debutant for the Doggies today. Received his jumper from Brad Johnson before the game. Couldn't really replay the speech though, Steve. We're in a G rating at the moment, but nevertheless, he's fired up his charges. That's just great. And they come out now. Look, have they learnt any lessons? You're an assistant coach here from the round 5 smashing they copped against the Crows.
One of the specialist coaches. Well, yeah, they were beaten by 77 points over in Adelaide, and I think what they would have done their homework to realise that in the last 2 to 3 weeks, the opposition teams against the Crows have started to carry the football by hand, and they've started to score a few points against them. Defensively, from up to round 16, they averaged 65 points against the Crows, and they were ranked number 1 in the competitions. In the last 3 rounds, teams have averaged 105 points against it, and they rank number 14 now. So obviously the run and carry, teams are starting to work them out.
Yes, they've been on this heavy training schedule. It sounds like they had a couple of days off this week, so they might be getting a little bit fresher now as they look ahead to the finals, the Adelaide Crows, and they've got Port Adelaide at home and Melbourne at home over the next couple of weeks. Not a bad draw. They'd be wanting that home final.
Oh, for sure. They look pretty safe as a top 2 spot. Sydney breathing down their neck.
Down the other end, it starts to get more interesting. The Bulldogs 8. They're still not mathematically in the finals yet, but they'd have something terribly would have to go wrong from the miss out St Kilda and Essendon in their last 2 games.
Well, they realise that the Western Bulldogs have got to win at least one of their last 3 games, so today's very important.
Let's have a look at the teams. We say good afternoon to Michael Christian.
Good afternoon, Quarters. Yes, the Bulldogs have lost 3 of 4 this year at the MCG, and the Crows haven't played here since round 7 of 2005, so a big opportunity for the Crows. But let's take a look at the Western Bulldog lineup, and I've highlighted Lindsay Gilby, who really has had another outstanding year, provides the run and drive from half-back, is the key playmaker, averaging 22 disposals this year. And speaking of playmakers, Brad Johnson, what a stellar year he's had up forward for the Bulldogs, averaging 3 goals a game, although in his last 6 matches against the Crows has only kicked more than 1 goal once. He'll be looking forward to a massive game, I'm sure. Dylan Addison, great to see him in the Bulldog lineup on the wing. As we look at the Crows lineup, Graham Johncock, well, what a fantastic year he's had. He was averaging 20 disposals up until round 16, and coincidentally, since the Crows are going through a flat spot, he's averaged just 14 disposals. He'll be looking forward to a big game, I'm sure. And Simon Goodwin leads the competition in long kicks, a key playmaker for the Adelaide Crows. Mark Rashuto to start on the bench this afternoon, surprisingly, for the Crows. Back to you, Quarters.
Thanks, Michael. A glorious day for footy. One of the great one-on-one contests, hopefully today, will be 2 of the Brownlow medal favourites. Simon Goodwin averaging 27 touches a game up against Scotty West from the Western Bulldogs. He is number 1 in the AFL with 28 touches a game averaging. So one of the real key matchups this afternoon. We're looking forward to a great contest, plenty at stake at this time of year. A break, the action next on Saturday afternoon football.
To Goodwin from 52 metres, goes for it. What a start. So it's Scott West, right foot snap, bouncing, it's home. Oh, the Bulldogs are coming hard. Big lead by Goodwin over the top for a spin.
Desperate was West. What about that for a hard ball get? Wouldn't you love Scott West in the trenches?
Fremantle off the boot of Goodwin, kicks to the line and kicks the goal.
To the MC MCG, where Brad Johnson has just won the coin toss. Mark Rasciuto back from suspension and starting on the bench today. Don't expect any hip and shoulders from him today, apparently. It is a lovely afternoon in Melbourne. There are a few threatening rain clouds. Michael Christian was very happy to tell me that it is going to rain, although the Weather Bureau says it's going to be fine until later tonight, hopefully. The ground, though, is already slippery from some overnight rain. There is a slight breeze. If it stays like this, though, it won't have any effect on the game.
Always the pessimist, Chriso, always the pessimist. It's a beautiful... I reckon even I could get a kick today.
I know, I was just warning Christy just to be very careful in case it rained very heavily and she got a little bit wet.
Who are you tipping?
I think the Crows, they've really struggled, obviously, over the last 3 weeks. But I think today is a good opportunity for them. Surprised a little that Rasciuto is starting on the bench. I'm sure he'll be on the ground pretty shortly.
He will, and Rutten starting at full forward for the Crows. He did that back last time in the first round that they met the Bulldogs.
As we start this game, and West gets first possession, just wobbles one to centre half forward. Socket off the ground by McLeod. There's Doughty. Hot on his tail is Boyd. And he's got a free kick for in the back. So, first real clear possession of the match going to Michael Doughty, averaging 21 disposals this year. And there is a man I reckon could be a wild card in the finals, Scott Welsh. For the Crows to win, I reckon they need him firing in September. What a great kick, though. And it's marked at half-back by Gilby.
Lindsay Gilby, what an outstanding year he's had. Good kick, Robbins. Interesting match-up that. Scott Stevens opposed to him in the early stages. Kick towards Johnson. And out on the full, I'd suggest. Yes, a free kick to come back to Massey. And Brad Johnson just saying it came off the thigh. But out on the full, said the umpire. So Massey in the back pocket, chips it short. It's okay, mark taken by Clark. Interesting, Steve, that both Rutten and Bock, who played predominantly at fullback and centre half-back for all of last year, find themselves on the forward line this afternoon for the start of this match. And Rutten, of course, all-Australian fullback, and Nathan Bock unlucky not to be all-Australian centre half-back.
Very true. And as I said, Rutten played up forward against the Bulldogs last time in round one. But just having a look at the other end of the ground, the Bulldogs have gone relatively tall with Grant and Minson lining up in their forward line.
Riley to half forward. Here's Edwards having a ripping year. Onto that left, and doesn't waste it as usual as he finds Nathan Bock. Beautiful kick from Tyson Edwards, having an incredible last fortnight, averaging 34 disposals. Now Thompson. Kicks into the pocket. It's a good kick, just getting in the hole. That was great stuff. Mark being taken by Morris.
And 50.
And we talk about All-Australian. Dale Morris would be on the verge of making his first All-Australian. Team had a fantastic year, and this is what he does so very well. Backs back in the packs, very courageous.
Yeah, very brave it was. McMahon loose inside the centre square for the Dogs. Kicks it short. Okay, Cooney. Adam Cooney back to McMahon. Needs to kick on his non-dominant side. He just squeezed it a little wide. The target was Power. McLeod, though, brilliantly done at half-back. Chips to Riley, and the Crows away here. Riley. Henschel. Inside the centre square, wasting no time playing on. Out comes Box, slides and marks. 30 metres from goal.
It was super build-up by the Crows, but it all started back on their half-back line. The ball was actually kicked towards Power. Power really should have at least held the ball in their forward line. It was far too easy. The rebound occurred, and this is the end result.
Gee, it was a good mark from Bock. Just playing game number 3 as we look at Goodwin and West off the footy. Just his 3rd game of the year. Nathan Bock to kick the first goal of the afternoon for the Crows. He misses. So the first score of the afternoon are behind to Adelaide.
Yeah, this is the contest there. McLeod gathers the ball far too easy. That's what the Bulldogs need. They need to hold the ball inside their forward 50. Stop the run of the Crows off their half-back line.
McMahon over to West. To Cross. Yes, the doggies build in the midfield. Now West again. Weighs up the options. Decides to bang it long. Not the greatest of kicks. Hart decides to go the spoil, and it worked nicely. Goodwin runs onto it. Now long left foot kick, looks for Bow, didn't hit the target. Harris is there. Oh, it's a dodgy old handball. Gilby forced to spoil, but Bulldogs have numbers back, and here's Jordan McMahon again.
McMahon uses Hargrave, and the loose player at half-back, Morris, running to get on the end of the Hargrave kick. So not much to go to here, Dale Morris. Ray wants it inside the centre square, but he chips to Hargrave, who thought about going, decided against it. Bulldogs style of players to play on at all costs. Adelaide have been able to hold them up pretty well in the early stages, with Grant Marks just backward of the wing. Ahead of him, you can see Matthew Clark there in the middle of the picture, just by himself, getting back to fill in the hole. As Power Marks on the wing, well done, towards cross, although Shirley did it superbly. Good tackle from Gilby. What's the umpire going to do? He's going to ball it up inside the big circle, the centre of the MCG.
So right in the middle of the ground. It's Street. It's a whistle on play. He's given away a free kick. In fact, it's Griffin off the ball has given away the free kick for a hold, and it is going to go to Riley. A funny old start here at the MCG. Not a breath of wind, as Riley chips out wide and finds Massey, who decides to pump it long to the tall forwards. Spoiled by Gilby. Doughty's in there. And another bounce in the Crows' forward pocket.
Umpires this afternoon. So the Crows with an opportunity. Picked up by Bode, who kicks it to the top of the goal square. Contest, Bock. Well, Harris somehow got boot the ball, and Hargrave was able to find it and defensively handballs it through for a behind.
Talking about handballs, Adelaide are yet to have a handball. They've had 17 kicks.
And the Bulldogs have had 9 handballs so far. Make that 10 as Cross gives it over to McMahon. To half forward, Grant, nice pass. He wastes no time running on. It's Griffin. He can go on and kick a goal here. Ryan Griffin, oh, he's missed it. He did all the hard work but couldn't finish. Nice build-up though from the Dogs.
Now hard played on to John Cock, but has been forced to come back. So this time Chips, it's a good one. Hart, well done by Kearney, applied the pressure, got a bit on it. Now Griffin, West, 50 from goal, well tackled, scrambles a kick towards Big Will Menton. He's got a loose player. Kearney dribbles a goal with Brad Johnson. Thank you very much. Opening goal to the Dogs.
Knee down, Brad Johnson becomes the 4th greatest goal kicker for the Bulldogs ever. Only Beasley and Templeton and Grant have kicked more goals. He joined, well, he's just surpassed Jack Collins.
Oh, the great Jack Collins. As the kick comes to Wally Robbins, couldn't quite hold on. West, well tackled, gives it up. Shirley scrambles it back, only as far as McMahon. Gets the quick handball. Street delivers out wide. They've got a couple to choose from. Power, where will he go? He goes long. Big Will at the back, in front. It's taken by Farron Ray. They lined up, the Bulldogs. There was 3 of them there in line to take that power kick.
It was a great kick by Power. He went across to the fat side, where there was a little bit more space, but a good heavy work off the ball there by Minson.
So Farron Ray, 6'9" for the season. 20 metres from goal. Surely should kick this, and he does. The Bulldogs have 2.
Prosciutto preparing to come on, back after suspension. So the Bulldogs with the early break. Brad Johnson's goal, by the way, was the 386th of his career. It becomes the 4th time leading goal kicker for the Dogs. Adelaide have possession. Doughty, short to half forward to Riley, who's been prominent early. To full forward, but getting in the hole again is Dale Morris. And he's quick to release. Over to Gilby, who's got a paddock here. He can carry the ball 100 metres if he chooses to. Offloads to Boyd, to McMahon. That's number 9 into the middle of the street. Street now unloads another handle. The Bulldogs away again through young Addison.
Drills it low and hard. Good fist coming from the Adelaide defence. Still a chance though, the Dogs. Well done by Hart. Oh, great tackle from Robbins. Surely a free kick. And he's been paid. So Matthew Robbins will kick from 40 metres as good as directly in front. And that was an exciting build-up, Steve.
It was. And Gilby, if you watch Gilby come through the half-back line, he ran and carried the football. And this is what opposition teams had started to do with the Crows. They're starting to carry the football. The Crows actually sweat on you to kick the football. So teams are starting to run it. Great forward pressure by the Bulldogs.
Mark Rasciuto, the captain of the Crows, on the ground for the first time this afternoon. Matthew Robbins, 21 goals, 7 from set shots this year. Very reliable from just inside 50. He misses. Bulldogs by an even 2 goals.
Quick kick in finds McLeod. Kicks a long ball just to vacant space. Getting there first is Griffin. Back to lend some support is Johnson into the middle of the street. Sweeping handball from Scott West has put a teammate under the pump. Goodwin ducked ahead. Good tackle by Johnson. And umpire has paid a free kick. Very clever tackle from Brad Johnson. Goodwin ducked into it. And
yeah, good call.
Was a very good call from the ump. So Brad Johnson. The lead from Grant has to stop. Crosses in there. Handball from Stevens. Cross again. Into the hot spot for the Dogs. Oh, good mark by Clark, the veteran. And he wastes no time.
John Cott delivers towards Rasciuto, who's got it. Just backward of the southern wing. Delivers well. Goodwin. Simon Goodwin wheels onto the left boot. What a wonderful year he's had. Inside attacking 50. Up comes Bock. Oh, going back was Morris again. This time illegally, says umpire Allen. And Nathan Bock with the free kick, although he looks to be in some trouble. Handballs well and truly in favour of the Dogs. Let's look at this again. And Morris just took his eyes off the ball at the last minute. I think that...
Yeah, I'm not sure he did.
I reckon he was completely committed.
Well,
Bock was just eating the sandwich,
he was committed, but he took his eyes off the ball, and I reckon that's probably what gave the free kick away. If he had kept eyes for the ball, maybe there wouldn't have been a free kick.
Look, I think he caught him high at least.
So Bode with the ball after Bock unable to take his kick. From right on 50, Matthew Bode delivers, and delivers very well, the opening goal to the Crows.
He just winded more than anything else. He's okay. And Matthew Bode gets the 23rd goal of the season for him. So he's having a pretty good year, Matthew Bode. Street, the 5th hit out. Adelaide are yet to get one. Couldn't quite find a teammate. Will have a secondary bounce in the middle. Big Peter Street, 7th in the AFL in hit-outs this season. Had the ruck work thrust upon him again with Luke Darcy's pre-season knee injury. West. There's Addison in his first game. Lays the tackle on Goodwin. Griffin. Good handball. Out to Cooney. He's off. Tucks the footy under the arm. Has 2 bounces. Decides to go by hand. Back to Griffin. Managed to avoid the tackle. Back to Cooney. Electrifying play from the Dogs. Cooney goes all the way. Magnificent stuff. That was a great goal.
Well, it was, and it's quite evident, Quarters, that the Bulldogs are running and carrying the football. They're happy to bounce the football. They're using a lot of handball, and it's paying dividends for them at the minute.
Great stuff from Adam Cooney. How have you assessed his season so far, Steve?
Oh, I think he's played well in patches, but it hasn't been an outstanding season for Cooney. He's a player that the Bulldogs really need to lift over the next couple of weeks if they're going to have any impact in the finals.
Possessions, 58 to the Bulldogs, 30 to the Adelaide Crows as Street wins it down, taken though by Goodwin. Edwards, who's been quiet in the early stages. Dowdy delivers very well. Gilby, though, was able to get a fist on the football to prevent Skipworth from marking. Bowe, clever pick up. Then wrong foots Gilby. Edwards. Now Biglands Rhett Biglands from 60, kicks deep into the pocket, over the head of Bock, running on the chance here for Skipworth, tries to keep it in, does, but it's all Bulldogs. West and Gilby share it. Now Griffin, confronted by Gubanji, slipped over a couple of times, Ryan Griffin, Dowdy, Matthew Bode, kicked 4 last week, already won this afternoon, back to Rashudo, who wobbles into the goal square, Hargrave, what's he done? He's let it go, but it's gone through for a point, so heart in the mouth stuff there for the Bulldogs, but one behind only to the Crows.
Short to Gilby. And now West. West is up to, this is his 11th disposal already. McMahon's got 9. For Adelaide, 4 each to Riley, Goodwin, Doughty and Bode. So dominating possession, as Steve Silvani said, the Dogs early. This is Boyd. Boyd, they're moving it quickly by hand. Now Griffin. Inside 50 go the Dogs. Johnson's got the front position. Nicely spoilt by Massey. Here's McLeod to Johncock. And he chips to the wing to Biglands. Cut off by Addison. Well done, young man. To Cross, to Ray. Now on the rebound. Can the Bulldogs make them pay? Handball out to Power. Back to Cooney. Chips into the pocket to Johnson. Can't take the mark. Butters up. Good tackle. Adelaide out of danger. Bit of experience down there. Hart to Johncock. And now Hart receives again.
Got it from Shirley as he kicks towards Skipworth on a long lead, and he marks on the wing. Hayden Skipworth. There's Ben Rutten, who is lined up at full forward. He goes back and across to Johncock, who takes his time, tries to pick out an option. Coming up, Rutten couldn't control it. Gilby, well done, little toe poke, but only as far as Johncock, so the Crows can reload here. Dowdy, now Shirley. Kick towards the lead of Bock, who's been good early. Oh, he lost Harris, then slipped over. Play on's the call, Cross applies the pressure. And the Dogs work it very well. Robbins and Harris combine. Now Boyd switch the handball out wide to West, and the Dogs away.
West to Cooney. West has had a dozen. Make it 13, the Baker's dozen. As he goes into the middle. See them running the ball. In numbers are the Dogs. Cross. A long option. Johnson's caught behind. Well done by Massey. Got the free kick anyway, and then the Crows are away through Johncock. Got a couple of good one-on-one wings down there, Massey on Johnson.
He's a much improved player this year.
As the Crows, Biglands towards Bob. Another little fumble. Cross was courageous there, going in hard, putting his body on the line, and he earned the free kick. Handball off to Gilby. Short, okay, Boyd. Griffin pokes it forward over the head of the target, Robbins, but he gets Johncock underneath the footy, and there's a free kick, and it'll come to Matthew Robbins for a hold.
Well, they've done very well, the Bulldogs. They've been able to find their forwards across that, just inside 50, and they haven't been going long where the Crows do like the ball going. And we saw the clear count there, 20 from the Crows. But look, the Bulldogs have got this game on their terms at the minute. Not much happening for the Crows.
Yes, their run is really worrying the Adelaide Crows, and Matthew Robbins need to convert the opportunities that they get. He's missed one already, this one from 45. Yeah, and again he misses, so after going into the game with set shots this year 21-7, he's now 21-9. And the Bulldogs back out to a 12-point advantage.
He's converting at 66% this year as Matthew Robbins, but not today so far. Johncock taking his time on this occasion. Goes the long option. Looks for Biglands. Good strong mark. Dishes off to Thompson. To Edwards. Back to Thompson. He's just come back on the ground. Now the Crows turn to run the balls. Tyson Edwards kicks towards Henshaw.
Good work by Hargrave there.
Just worked in under the ball a bit.
Yeah, just cut the angle and applied the pressure. So well done by Ryan Hargrave, and Bulldog defence doing pretty well at the moment. So a boundary throw in at half forward for Adelaide. They trail by 12 points, the Crows. Minson started at full forward, now in the ruck against Rhett Biglands. Ineffective play, Edwards. Thompson called to play on. Cross jams it on the boot. Scrambles it to the vacant wing position. Ben Hart leads in the race, has time to assess. Cloud, a superstar directing traffic. Sure enough, he'll kick it short after he signals he wants to go long as Edwards marks centre wing for Adelaide.
That Tyson Edwards averaging 25 disposals, but the last 2 weeks he's been averaging 34. Had a ripping fortnight.
Crows huddling in their forward line at the moment. And this is where the Bulldogs have been very good. They've been able to slow them down.
Kick to half forward is excellent. It's a free kick. Mark whatever you like to Van Berlo. They're a bit static at the moment. There's a lead from Rutten. Well, Van Berlo thought about it. Not play on. He didn't step over his mark, but now he gets the hurry up. Now he's called to play on. Van Berlo makes the job difficult, but it's still a beautiful pass to Skipworth. Real daisy cutter. Skipworth at half forward, about 70 from goal. Short to Bode, who got there but couldn't hang on to it. Now the Bulldogs, West. Number 14. Over to McMahon. Floats one to Cross, back to West again. And good mark taken by Grant on the wing.
In front of Massey, Chris Grant's got a loose player inside. Smith, who started on the bench. The overlap provided by Gilby. Drives the kick long inside, attacking 50. Coming across, good mark taken by Stevens. Cameron White had a couple to beat there. So the Crows away now. Thompson. Scott Thompson.
And just watch from this vision here, they'll try and line up in a line and get a break from there.
So he goes across to Tyson Edwards, who started to get and find the football in the last 10 minutes. Short to Stevens, but again, no flow to the Adelaide game at the moment. Bulldogs have done very well to hold them up. Thompson just gets ahead of Robbins and marks. Still at half back though. There's the captain. And he goes back to Hart. Now Stevens is loose on centre wing and Hart sees him now, so maybe they can play on and set something up here, but Stevens hasn't the confidence to do that and goes back instead. McLeod marks on the wing. Out wide to Bock. So laborious here from the Adelaide Crows. And Massey runs very hard to get on the end of the kick. 65 from goal, left half forward.
Pretty disciplined this by the Crows.
And well done, they work it pretty well in the end. To Biglands, who marks 40 from goal, but the angle reasonably acute. And there's Rutten. Hasn't been able to have much of an impact, Brett Rutten. Hasn't got a touch yet. Playing at full forward, but Rhett Biglands wants to have a crack at it from right on 50. Drop punt is straight into the post.
So the Dogs by 11. Contrasting styles at the moment as they move the ball quickly. Farron Ray to Boyd. To Smith, run down. But they do have the numbers. Faulkner. Now to the run of McMahon, off half-back. Jordan McMahon drills the left foot kick. Looks for Robbins, and that is a great pass.
It was a great pass, and Robbins did very well to get in front of his man.
He started, Steve, when the kicker kicked the ball, he was actually behind his opponent, John Cobb.
He was, and it was a good build-up by the Bulldogs. They actually switched play from a wing and brought it inboard that allowed this kick to happen.
Now, Robbins has just simply got to kick this. He's had 2 opportunities, albeit from reasonable distances out, but he's directly in front, kicking from 40. Just for his confidence alone, he needs to drill this. Crows supporters will be hoping otherwise. Robbins hits the post. What might have been for Matthew Robbins this quarter? 3 behind.
Just over a minute left in the quarter. Just the 4 goals kicked to date. And that's what's ahead of Graham Johncock as he prepares to bring the ball back into play. Been called to play on. Kicks out wide. The target, Biglands. He's up. Couldn't quite hold on. Cooney, well tackled by Biglands. Thompson. Oh, just taken a bit high initially by Chris Grant. He'll get the free kick at half-back. Scott Thompson coming in for disposal number 6. Of course, played 39 games for Melbourne before making the move to the Crows. Kick towards the wing, and a free kick to Morris there. He was
chopping of the arm, I think.
And he'll take it on centre wing.
So still time here for the Dogs. Kicks towards Street. The big fella's made some room for himself. He did it well. He marks it half forward. Time ticking down. Play on. McMahon on the right boot, inside 50. Rashudo goes to the fist. Half the back of the pack. Throws out of danger again. McLeod. And that'll be it at quarter time. And the Bulldogs will have a 2-goal lead. 22 plays 10. So the Bulldogs have got the jump, Stephen Sylvain.
Well, they have. They'd be relatively happy with that quarter. They were able to win the football. Scott West, 15 disposals. Jordan McMahon, 12. So plenty, their unballers getting plenty of the ball. Although Adelaide only 2 goals down and not much going right for them.
That's right. The goal kickers in the first quarter for the Dogs. Singles to Ray, Johnson and Cooney. While for the Adelaide Crows, their only goal scorer so far has been Matthew Bode. What about that for a brilliant? That's one snap from home. He has done it again.
Very loud, actually, but he wasn't so much having a go at his plays. He was just gently reminding them about the game plan and just asking them to stick to it in the second term. The Bulldogs, I think it actually took quite a bit out of them in that first term. Quite a few of them down being worked on in the huddle. So we'll see whether they have the same intensity in this second quarter.
That rain coming, Christy?
No, not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Unusual for coaches to get animated Christy this time of year. Oh, no response.
He's packed up. And just looking down, Steve, just signing a couple of autographs over the fence.
Oh, so. Sorry, man.
We might try that a bit later, I reckon.
Is that an official no comment from Christy?
No, I think she had turned off the mic. We'll maybe ask her again at 3/4 time. Just about to get underway here. Second term at the MCG. The Bulldogs lead by 12 points. Perfect bounce. Street, very good in the opening quarter. Couldn't quite get boot to ball. Socket out by West. Shirley will get there first for the Crows. Support from McLeod. The handball a little slick. And he'll get the free kick anyway, Robert Shirley. On centre wing for the Crows. Kicks back and across. Thompson. Productive to some degree in the first quarter. Scott Thompson. Kick out wide. Matthew Clark ahead of Peter Street. So again the Crows, not much flow to their game. Short kick to Bode, but well done Griffin. And just spotted Bode making movement and was able to get across and affect the spoil. So a boundary throw in, half forward for the Crows. Clark works to the front, well done. Skipworth jams it on the boot, kicks it inside, attacking 50, and the mark's taken by Bock. And Steve, it's an interesting matchup because Gilby giving away a lot of height to Nathan Bock, but the Gilby run may well be a flaw with the game plan of the Crows with Nathan Bock playing there.
Spot on. Gilby had 9 possessions in the first quarter. You would think that Bock should be taking Gilby back to the goal square with that height advantage.
So Nathan Bock has just played the 2 games this season. He's kicked 2 goals from 30 metres. Kicks a goal for the Crows and narrows the margin to 6 points.
There you go. Look at that for some rugby union skills. George Gregan, eat your heart out. Beautiful spiral pass there from Andrew McLeod. Got a future, that young man.
Yes, he's had a pass too.
Edwards, a Torpy, inside 50. Oh, is it a mark or a free kick to Bock? No, it's not. Got both hands on it, just couldn't hang on to the bickies. And we'll have a ball up 45 out directly in front of the Crows' goal. Cooney does the roving. Oh, the handball's a bit dodgy. Oh, Edwards collides with a teammate. He's okay.
Oh.
In the clinches, West somehow got boots of ball, but not far. Only as far as Thompson. Got it to Massey. Massey out wide, looks for Goodwin. That's a free kick. So Simon Goodwin too far out to score. Only his 5th disposal coming up. He doesn't waste any time. He pumps it long into the goal square. Oh, Henschel got both hands on it also. Couldn't hang on to it. Street at the bottom of all that. Ball released, and now the Bulldogs go safety first.
Street just got a fist on the football, but that's what the Crows need to do. They've got to go a little bit longer towards a goal square. They've got their tools down there. Rutten's down there. Started this game at full forward.
Gilby, low and hard, the cross, back to Gilby as they try and set something up again, the Bulldogs. Dangerous kick inside the corridor, but up comes Grant Orr, collides with Cooney. They're both down, Grant and Cooney. Chance for the Crows, Van Berlo, Shirley, Edwards. Bulldog players are up and about. Kick to Rutten. First possession for the All-Australian fullback, playing at full forward this afternoon. Kick towards a central location. Henschel, not quite. Addison was held. No free kick. Bowe looking for an option. Well done by Boyd. Was able to chip in there. A little kick around the body. Okay. Grant, who waits for Cooney to come. And he does indeed. A couple of bounces. Normally uses it with precision and does this time. Griffin. Grant running past. They've got Gilby on the other side. Now it's Morris. Morris, one bounce. Something here for the Dogs. Long, wobbly kick towards the goal square. It was a poor kick. And then Ben Hart comes out and takes a comfortable mark for the Crows.
John Cock peeling off as Thompson. He's got it at half-back. Also providing some options here is Henschel. So Trent Henschel chips to half-forward. Starting to move the ball a bit better. Welsh spots up a teammate, but kicks to a 2-on-1. They fly. Addison's got to be good here. The first gamer got rid of the football just in the nick of time. Quick kick by Van Berlo towards goal. All by himself was Rutten, but it was over his head. And a point to Nathan Van Berlo. Crows starting to look a little bit better.
Well, they should have probably done better than that. They had Rutten deep, who was all on his own. And a couple of kicking errors. Missed their targets.
Dominating the inside 50s in the opening minutes of this second term, the Crows, as the kick comes in to West. Scott West. Up to
17.
disposal number 18. Quite remarkable start. Gilby gets around Bogdan. Boat comes in to tie him up. West. Now Addison. Oh, he took a long time, the youngster. Got a handball to West, made it difficult, but he did very well, did West. To Boyd. Driving kick at the back. Out comes almost a very good mark down there to Burst.
Did well, Massey.
Did it superbly to John Cock. Now Stevens. Beyond the wing, loose player, Bock. Done very well, Nathan Bock. Chips it towards half-forward, Henschel. They're getting free now, the Crows. Numbers back to the Bulldogs, but no one on this man. Scott Welsh has come onto the ground, drifted into space, and has marked 40 metres from goal. Quarter's just 6 minutes old, and the Crows are dominating. This to put the Crows in front since the early minutes of the game, when they were able to lead by just 1 and 2 points. Gets into stride now, Scott Welsh, and kicks it. It's hanging on. No, it just drifts across. So another behind to Adelaide.
And Jordan McMahon trots down. He's going to take the kick in. A few headaches for Rodney Eade. Just on the box there. Boyd. To Harris. Back to Boyd. And he goes short to West. Disposal number 21 to Hargrave. He kicks, finds Farron Ray. So what is flowing, free-flowing the Dogs as they were in the first quarter. Adelaide managing them, shut them down just a little bit. Kicks to Griffin. And it's the Dogs' turn to play.
Yeah, it just seems like they're playing a little bit of tempo football. Obviously, the runs, if they play that type of game the whole game, they'll probably run out of legs. So maybe the tempo football may have been called.
To Cross, who winds up now, kicks to the tip of the goal square. Minson was the tall timber, couldn't mark. Van Berlo, good roving. Handball missed the target. Griffin again. Gets boot to ball. Good snap. Great shepherding. It bounced through. It's home for a goal. The controversial piece of shepherding.
Yeah, what do you think, Brisso?
Well, Power didn't have his eyes on the ball, ran straight at Hart, and I reckon they were a touch lucky there, the Bulldogs. Back in the centre, Henschel comes up from half forward, make a contest, Clark just throws it out. Boyd, hard and tough, cross, scrambles it towards half forward. Johnson's been quiet, ball to the back. Well, Power dived in as he earned the free kick he has. So Power just outside the 50. Gets back off the mark quickly to assess options. Crows have getting numbers back. There's Minson. So forced to kick sideways to Smith. Even for Rowan Smith, too far out to score. Man on the mark stands at 60. Kicks it towards the top of the square. Johnson in good position here. Oh, he did all the heavy work on Massey. Couldn't hold onto the football. And the Crows emerge with it. Well done, Riley. Off to McLeod. And McLeod now casually, couple of bounces, runs straight at West, then around him. Looks for the runners. Dowdy getting past him. Oh, John Cock, have they mucked it up? No, Mattner's got a wonderful left foot, but couldn't find it because the bounce didn't come back to him. Bulldogs do well through Boyd to get back and tie it up. Bounce at centre-half forward for the Crows. It was away, Marty Mattner. Just couldn't quite find the handle.
Wonderful tap by Clark. Over to Shirley, and inside 50, taking the mark for Adelaide is Scott Welsh.
Well, that's happened on 2 or 3 occasions. This, their quick kick from a stoppage, and the Crows forwards have all been playing in front. We just see the quick kick there, and Welsh in front, read it best.
Twice the leading goal kicker for the Adelaide Crows. Had a horrific run with injury. Never seemed to string a large number of games together, Scott Welsh. Played in the Kangaroos premiership side at 99. Might have another chance this year.
In the Bulldog coach's box. And Scott Welsh, just his second game for the season. Kicks his first goal of the afternoon. Dowdy feeds it back. Van Berlo looking more composed in this second term as John Cock gives it to McLeod. Riley moving the ball a lot quicker. Kick towards half forward. Fist coming from Morris. McLeod followed it up. Sweeping handball. Henschel. Kick to the top of the goal square. Big Peter Street gets back and marks comfortably. And now the chance for the counter-attack from the Bulldogs. Cross. Good chase from Bobe. He gets the kick away. Brad Johnson up at half-back trying to create something. McMahon. Johnson kept going. Well played by the captain. One bounce. Massey comes to him. Baron Ray now from 65, wobbles it towards the goal square. It's a poor kick. John Cock gets back to take the mark.
Now McLeod on defensive 50. Into the middle. And the mark's taken by Doughty, who wastes no time. They're getting moving now, Adelaide. To Riley, to Hart. Back to Doughty. Inside 50. Not a great kick, though. And taking the saving mark for the Dogs is Hargrave. Kicks the street. He switches back to Morris. The Dogs away again.
Morris, no pressure, so time for a couple of bounces. Draws a player. Gilby, half back.
Great kick.
It was a great kick. Cooney, southern wing, in space. Gets on with it quickly. Power versus Mattner. Power will want his left side. Good tackle coming from Mattner, driving into the turf. In fact, it wasn't a great tackle. He gets a free kick, Power. Perhaps a touch lucky. There's Minson and Stevens. Short kick comes in, mark taken by Rowan Smith.
Grant's come onto the ground and no one's picked him up yet.
And he's running through the attacking 50. He's loose. Rowan Smith doesn't see him. Kicks over his head. Big pack. Clark in front. Good position. Will Minson's got to give a better contest.
Well, he's just got to bring it to ground. Great mark by Clark.
McLeod back to Clark. And McLeod again to John Cock. Got a lot to go to. To Doughty, to Edwards. Now they're mucking around with it here, the Crows. Finally out of trouble as Clark finds John Cock again. Chip short to Rashuto. Now Riley. He decides to bang it long. Henschel's got the sit here. Great mark. Well done, Trent Henschel. He's off. And he kicks the goal.
Have hit the front since the early minutes of the match. They lead by 3 points. White in the centre square for the Dogs. Goodwin, another centre clearance, floats it almost towards half forward. Out comes Welsh. Fist from Morris. Henschel at ground level, pulls it back across the body and kicks a wonderful goal. Trent Henschel, 2 goals in 30 seconds. And Adelaide really getting into gear now. And they lead by 9 points.
Well, it was great footy. I reckon the Crows have won the last probably 4 or 5 out of the centre square clearances, and that was just a great gather by Henschel. Great snap over his left shoulder. Super football.
4-1 the centre clearances in Adelaide's favour this term. Great snap from Trent Henschel. All of a sudden he's got 2 goals next to his name. And the Crows lead by 9 points. Goodwin fed it out to Thompson, to Doughty.
Another clearance.
Oh, yeah, they're looking better now.
Good smother.
Yep, Van Berlo's kick was smothered. Cross, head over the ball. Well done by Thompson. Forced the spoil. Clark on hands and knees. Ball still in dispute. Now we'll have a stalemate.
Tough work in there from Daniel Cross. Tied it up a couple of times just with his hardness. And look at the clearance domination by the Crows in this term.
Free kick against Clark. That's the forearm across the throat of his opponent in white. And Cameron White in the middle of the MCG has got the free. And he goes to Johnson. Now Griffin's run down here. He'll receive a little chip kick. He's got a loose man in the pocket if he can get to him in time. Can't. Forced to go himself. Handball's back to Johnson, who stabs the pass inside 50. Cut off by Matner. To Johncock. To Thompson. To Massey, who's been good. Back to Johncock. He's really providing some run out of defence now. Here's McLeod, the dual Norm Smith medalist. Kicks one to the Roo. Prosciutto against Harris. Good one-on-one contest. Both players claiming the free kick. None forthcoming. West. Popped it over to Cross. You have to be good with this kick he is as he finds Faulkner.
Faulkner between half-back and centre. Chips one to McMahon, who bursts through the centre circle. Kicks it long towards half-forward. Big Will Minson gathers on the bounce. Handball looking for Cooney. Cooney won't miss this. Goal to the Dogs.
Come back on. He'll replace Clark. It's the Crows by just 3 points. Cooney's got 2 for the Dogs. Henschel's got 2 for the Crows. Clark the tap. Thompson's in there. So is Smith for the Bulldogs.
Matchups.
Clark the tap again, but picked up by Gilby to half forward, looking for Faulkner. Well done by Shirley, stood up in the tackle. Thompson. Over to Massey again. Over the top to the run of Stevens. Now he just bangs it long, looks for Prosciutto, one out with Harris. Good one-on-one contest again from those 2 men. Bode does the roving. Got Van Berlo in support. Good slick handball. Van Berlo into the goal square. Welsh from the side. No. Henschel is at a mark. Yes, he's been paid. So it's a mark going to Trent Henschel. Well, Welsh was steaming in from the side, but he missed everything in the end. And the ball just about fell into Henschel's hands. He'll claim it.
And once again, the kick to the goal square may have been touched, but I think you've got to pay the mark.
Yes, you do. And Trent Henschel having a great quarter. This for his 3rd. Tight angle, but it's certainly kickable.
Yeah, a bit of jumper grabbing on going there.
Kicks the Adelaide. Check side. But misses.
Two goals, 1 to Trent Henschel. So Bulldogs breathe a sigh of relief there. A couple of Sherrans in the picture. Gilby into the back pocket. Well, Harris has got a real problem here. Good pressure coming from Bode. The ball's over and a boundary throw in. I think that other ball put Lindsay Gilby off. Missed the target from 15 metres. Don't often see that. Boundary thrown. Crows deep into attack. Biglands gets it back towards Rashudo. Spills to Shirley. Shirley not. He's missed. One behind. Crows out now by 5 points.
Quick kick into West. Is he off? Yes, he is. Play on, says the umpire. Now Scott West hemmed in here, goes short, and it's a good mark taken by Cross.
Lucky to travel with 15.
Not that kick. I don't think it's good news for Hayden Skipworth, Christy Mulhouse.
No, a bit has been said about the Adelaide hamstring problems, and it looks like they have another one with Hayden Skipworth off, icing his right hamstring.
Yeah, we saw him shake his head before. It didn't look like he was too happy. As Neil Craig said during the week, it's a risk you got to take. That was the plan, always to train them hard at this time of year. Hopefully for them it'll pay handsome dividends in September. Van Berlo, centering kick. Free kick. It's going against Welsh for a push in the pack. Yep. And it's going to Griffin. Spectacular stuff from Hargrave
Yeah,
on the
wasn't
side.
it?
But Ryan Griffin gets up a little bit gingerly with the free kick.
Just under 5 minutes left in the half. Bulldogs led by a couple of goals at quarter time, but Crows have done very, very well in this second term to get the ascendancy back. Smith. Well done by Shirley. Working hard on the mark. Smith chips it over the top. Cooney. Leading goal scorer for the Bulldogs with a couple. Henschel, the leading goal scorer for Adelaide with 2.
Just appears the Bulldogs are forming 2 huddles on each side of the ground, one on each side of the ground.
Kearney long towards the wing. Rutten couldn't take the mark, but does recover. Good tackle from Cameron White. Edwards hard up against the line, did it cleverly. Thompson, now Rashudo from outside 50, loads up to the goal square. Bock in great position. Well done by Harris. He was caught out there, Harris, but he did enough to knock the ball away for another rush behind to the Crows.
That's about the 4th or 5th time this quarter the Crows have gone long with the goal square.
4 goals, 6 this term to Adelaide, to 2 goals straight the Dogs. So the Crows have had plenty of opportunity. Cooney, little handballer, Smith, kicks in the direction of Power, who gets there. Sam Power at half forward. Winds up on the left. It's not the best of kicks. Underneath it is Cross. Oh, good mark. Stood his ground. Right kick. that was a lot harder than it looked for Daniel Cross. He had to stand his ground, and in the end took a good overhead mark with a fair bit of traffic bearing down on him.
Almost a pitching wedge, wasn't it? It was beautifully weighted. But look, Cross did really well to stand underneath that ball.
Now Daniel Cross directly in front, only 35 metres out. He's kicked 9 goals, 5 this season. Should be bread and butter for him. And he's missed.
So both sides putting away opportunities as McLeod kicks it short to Edwards, back to McLeod. The umpire in the way there, umpire Jeffrey. Crows working pretty well. Edwards bursts from half back with a bounce. Rashudo leading straight up the middle of the MCG. Back to Edwards. Off to Matner. Matner pokes it out wide on the lead. Block. Well done by Harris. Did enough. Ball to the back. Gilby will just let it roll over. So a boundary thrown in the pocket for the Crows.
And we just see a hell of a lot more run by the Crows this quarter. McLeod's the one that's given them the run off the half back line. He's had 16 disposals so far in this game.
Johnson does the roving. Little kick to half back. Van Berlo against Faulkner. Rashudo. Nice pick up from the old timer. Off to his good mate Goodwin. Kicks to the tip of the goal square. In front, Henschel, no. Addison did well, and the Dogs concede another rush behind. One straight kick in front, Adelaide, as we near half-time.
Boyd, kick intended for Ray, missed the mark, lets the Crows in here. Riley sweeps it wide. Bock, just a bend down, just inside 50. Toe pokes it brilliantly onto the chest of Bode. Gee, that was great stuff from Bob.
A lot of poise there, wasn't there? Because he had Morris bearing down on him, but just waited for the lead to come towards him. Super little kick inside.
Bode kicked 4 goals last week against the Dockers. Has one to his name as we have a blood group out. He looks to be coming from the ground, so a slight delay. He'll be replaced by Scott Stevens. And umpire Allen just waiting for everything to be in place before Matthew Bode will kick at his second and look to extend this Adelaide lead, which, if he can convert, will be the biggest of the match to date, out to 12 points. Bode kicks and kicks accurately. Crows by 12 points.
He do. We've seen a 2-goal lead at quarter time turned into a 2-goal deficit as we near half time. Not that cold. Biglan's to tap, shark by Cooney, and up and under. Smith knocked it to the ground. Van Berlo's over the top of it all, and the umpire will come in and bounce. Right on the Toyota logo. Southern stand wing. West, or Bolo, that's in the back. West will get up.
Quite incredibly, he's coming up for his 24th disposal.
West just chips to Street, who's in front, couldn't hang on to the mark. Goodwin over to Rutten to McLeod. Is there enough time here for the Crows? McLeod goes in the middle and finds Welsh. Have to be very quick. Out wide to Hart. Now Hart kicks. Here's a chance. No mark. Stevens ducked ahead but still got clipped high. That'll be it for half-time. It'll be too far out to score. So Adelaide have turned a 2-goal deficit at quarter-time into a 2-goal advantage at the main break. 6-11 plays 5-5 in that quarter. The Crows kicked 5 goals 7 to the Bulldogs 2 goals 1.
Yes, and they just started to win a lot more of the ball, particularly in the clearances. They were able to get the first advantage out of the centre square, and look, they got some run off their half-back line in McLeod and Edwards, and they started to find their forward targets.
So half-time at the MCG, round 20. It's Adelaide leading the Western Bulldogs by 2 goals. The day is over for that man, Michael.
Street, beautiful tap down to Cooney. Jams it on the left boot towards half-forward, but well done by Matt. Now, if he paid the mark, yes. Just able to grasp it to his chest. And he kicks it out wide. Riley in space. Links up with Shirley. Now Johncock. Outstanding in the opening half. Graham Johncock. Kick towards Henschel. He's got it. Treat Henschel, devastating in the second quarter with a couple of goals, gave them a real target. Will kick from 40 metres, as good as directly in front.
And he's a difficult player to match up on, Henschel. He does come up and present on a lead, but he's also very good running hard back into that forward 50 of theirs, causing some problems for the Bulldogs.
Been very consistent and has kicked at least 3 goals in 8 games this year. Lining up for goal number 3 this afternoon to do it for a 9th time from 45. Staggering run. His kick is accurate. No one to the Crows.
Now, this man, Johncock, Steve Silvani, he's been one of their prime movers this year. He's been shut down in recent weeks, and it's made a difference to Adelaide, but he's getting into the game today. They've got to try and shut him down. He's just running off at will at the moment from deep in defence.
Well, it's all happened, particularly in that second quarter. We've seen Johncock, Edwards and also McLeod get plenty of ball, particularly off that half-back line. Rutten also gone back to his usual position at full-back.
Averaging 19 disposals a game, Johncock. As I said, the last few weeks he's been short supplied, but he's up to 16 this afternoon, so he's well and truly in this game. Bulldogs have to do something about him. They have possession at the moment. right in the middle of the MCG. A long ball. Grant's got the front position. Brings it to ground. Power. Clever little handball to Burst. Burst to Johnson. And Johnson has kicked a goal. Oh, they needed that one, the Dogs.
What a year he's had. Only for Bowler and Hall have kicked more goals. Street, beaten by Clark. Edwards. Oh, great tackle from Boyd. Coughs it up. Does Edwards. Johnson's handball, though, a little wide. Picked up by Massey. And off to Goodwin. Kicks it low towards half-forward Bode. The target, in fact, it's Welsh. And well done. Good pressure from White. Sees it over the boundary line.
Yeah, we just saw Johnson cough that handball up. Maybe a quick kick into their forward 50 may have been a better option. We spoke about John Cock just a moment ago. Well, Robbins is taking him right to the goal square.
Street this time gets it down. Dowdy over the football. Needs to get it out. Spills free towards Griffin. As he taken high cross. Tried to shovel it out to West. Well done by Bode. Was able to get a hand in there. Good pressure from West, though. Somehow it got to Edwards. He hoists it high. Just covers the 15. Street fists away. Well done again by Bode. Riley pulled off it by Addison. Kick towards half-forward. Free kick, which way will it go? It'll go to the Bulldogs. Dale Morris at half-back.
He's got West on the wing, and his kick finds him. To Gilby, who will combine with West. And again, good run from Lindsay Gilby. A driving kick, but it's dropped a bit short. Massey dropped the mark. Edwards. Massey has another crack at it. Hart's in there. Fed out to Smith. Cooney. Quick snap. Way offline. Out on the full.
So Brad Johnson was loose in the pocket. Cooney didn't see him. So Graham Johncock will bring the ball back into play. And mark taken by Shirley. Over the top, Edwards is loose. Back to Shirley. Great chase from Robbins, but Shirley was able to get the kick away. Rutten in a good position here. He marks on centre wing. Rashudo outside him. He uses the captain. Now Matner. Needs to get an accommodating bounce. Can't pick it up. Does he break the Street tackle? Well, he didn't, but Street's tackle just fell down to the ankle region. So Martin Matner, 60 from goal. Kicks it short. Oh, out on the lead is Welsh. Too easy. Too much space, Steve.
Too easy. Probably Brian Harris was the one that could have filled the hole in, but this tackle needed to be better. Poor tackle there by Street. He needed to hold that tackle. Well done by Matner to be able to force the error.
So Scott Welsh has kicked one in game number 2 for the season. From 40 metres. We'll get a great look at it. Drop punt is coming back. It's through. Adelaide out by 18.
Adelaide lead by 3 goals. Clark the tap. That's McMahon. Got the handball out to Griffin, who's spun out of trouble. This handball went to an opposition player in Doughty. To Matner. To Thompson on centre wing. Over the top to Goodwin, who's been quiet. It's number 11 for him. He goes to the 50. Welsh has it fisted away. Griffin, good pick up. Welsh was desperate, did well to Clark. Riley, slick hands to Goodwin. Onto the left, kick smothered by Big Street. Oh! Cosmo Kramer, he's knocked up the ball. Did all the hard work, couldn't get boot to ball in the end. Now a kick by Shirley into the hot spot. Front and centre Goodwin to Welsh. To Henschel. Sidestep. Henschel's got 4. Fred unfortunately off injured. Did so well, but just got knocked off the kick.
Yeah, Dale Morris just needed to corral Henschel there. Went at him, allowed himself to be sidestepped as cross. Doesn't get any penetration on the kick. Dowdy, as he paid the mark, yes, just went to 15. Stevens kicks towards half-forward. Bock, very good in the first half, Nathan Bock. Between wing and half-forward, taken 8 marks. Clark kicks it short, it's okay. Mark taken by Riley. Too far out to score, you'd suggest. That's what's ahead of him. Edwards the lead, and he hits him on the chest. Bulldogs getting numbers back to the fullback line, but there seems to be plenty of space, as we just saw in that Adelaide forward line, for someone to present from the goal square, and that's what Edwards did.
What the Crows did really well there is that most of their forwards probably came out of the goal square, the front of the goal square there, so they've taken everyone's back to the goal square, which allowed the space in front for someone to run into, and Edwards was the man.
So Edwards from 40 metres kicks a goal. Crows out by 5 goals.
They've been inside 56 times. They got 4 straight goals out of it. They've got this game by the throat now. Clark the tap. His ruck work's been excellent when he's been on the ground. Forces it forward. West. Riley and up and under. Now the first gamer, Addison, under pressure. Bock. Threw it out to Bode. Yep, and that's the way the umpire saw it too. So free kick at half-back for the Bullies. It's going to be taken by McMahon. Jordan McMahon. Disposal 16 is a poor one. It's cut off by Van Berlo. Wastes no time.
He hits the ground running, pops it down, confronted by Gilby. Well done by Gilby. Put the pressure on. Didn't rush it, Van Berlo. Just corralled him on the boundary line. Forced him into the error. It was well played by Lindsay Gilby, something that Dale Morris's teammate should have done a few moments ago. Boundary throw in. Clark takes it out. Handball's quick to Van Berlo. Good tackle again by Gilby. They tied up the Bulldogs. Eventually Boyd is able to shovel it out towards Griffin. Riley, though, picks it up. Van Berlo kick, run down by McMahon, who gets it back. McMahon now delivers towards Verse, who can't judge it. Power, well done, Stevens knocks it to the line. I think the umpire will think that's okay. In fact, the ball stays in, and the Crows can clear here. McLeod off to John Cock. Good chase from Robbins, but John Cock too quick. And look at this. Plenty of space for Brett Riley on the northern wing. Time to assess. Well done by Rutten, running for him. He chips it over the top. Goodwin marks on 50. Chips it for John Cock. Just continued to run and was unattended.
Robbins is in the middle of the ground, about 60 metres away from him.
Well, he chased him really hard initially and almost got there, but
he went to ground. The beauty of that piece of play by the Crows was that they had Rutten, who's gone back to full back. He was basically up across their half-forward line, and John Cock was the other one, 2 of their backmen.
Well, Graham John Cock bouncing back to form this afternoon. 5 marks, 18 possessions, and a chance to kick his first goal from half-back. Oh, gee, he's lost the practice. And 3-4 are behind. So Graham John Cock, who in fact led the goal kicking for the Crows back in 2003, wasn't able to convert on that occasion.
Signs all good for the Crows here. Hargrave forced to go short and finds McMahon. Now he's got a kick to a contest. Minson didn't fly in the end. Clark did. And we'll have a throw in. Clark off for a rest. Biglands comes back on. Some good work there from Matthew Clark. Bring a tear to Robert Wall's eyes, that performance will. Big fan of Matty Clark. Bulldogs get the free kick. Cooney, look at that for acceleration. Broke the lines, now kicks long, but no one home for the Bullies. Massey, got a horrid bounce. But Adelaide had the numbers. Stevens. John Cock feigned the free kick. Umpire wise up to that one. Johnson now, clever kick around the corner, but couldn't quite find Cooney. And Rutten takes the mark deep in defence. Combines with Massey. And now the Crows out of danger, has taken the mark at half-back as Dowdy.
Dowdy, off to Shirley. Well read by Boyd. Couldn't quite dispose him of the footy though. Good pressure this time by the Bulldogs. Picked up by West. A couple of players at half-forward. One of them's Rowan Smith. Now play on. Off to Cooney. He loves it from here. Cooney kicks it low and kicks it straight. And he kicks his third.
Crows by 25. Cooney's got 3. For the Dogs, Henschel's got 4 for the Crows. They're the major goal scorers in the match. Leading possession getters, West 31, Cross 20, Cooney 19 for the Dogs. For the Crows, 20 to Edwards, 19 to Johncock, 18 to McLeod.
And they're the quarter-by-quarter marks. 16-3 in this third quarter to the Crows.
Minson in the ruck against Biglands. West fed it out in the direction of Griffin. Didn't get the kindest of bounces, and the Crows are away. Kick to Goodwin on the wing, missed the target. Dealt with Cross too. Now Boyd to Griffin. It to be good here. Oh, stepped out of trouble once, but not twice. Umpire said it's okay. Handball it. West sideways is at 15, just. Cross still down on his haunches as Gilby switches.
Oh, that's... Thought it might have been almost 50 metres there against Bode.
So Chris Grant's got it. Crosses up. Grant's kick cut off. Play a bit sloppy at the moment. Rutten in defence. Now Johncock again, having a great afternoon. Handball's out to Bode. Bode to the run of Massey. Good tackle by Robbins. Cooney stood up in the tackle, but his handball went straight to McLeod. Cooney will have another crack at it. Got it over to Grant. Grant over the top. Now's a chance for Farron Ray. Force onto his left in the inside-out kick and finds Johnson. He's got power on short. He's got McMahon longer. He kicks in that direction. In fact, longer. Looking for Smith and his old-fashioned teammate. They've waxed for years, these two. And it's worked a treat again as Brad Johnson's kick has found Rowan Smith. And point-blank range, he should kick a certain goal.
And once again, some good pressure out on the wing by Cooney.
They've just lifted their intensity in the last 5 or 6 minutes, the Bulldogs. Well, they just need to hang in here because they're not out of this.
16 goals for the season. Make it 17 to Rowan Smith as the Dogs fight back. Rowan Smith set up by Ray and then Johnson, and Smith has finished off the work. Adelaide's lead cut to 19 points.
Back in the centre, Minson. Couldn't quite get it down. Goodwin out wide again under pressure. Great tackle from Grant on Van Berlo. Rashudo, Rutten, bit up and under. Gets to Goodwin. Cross applies the pressure. Does it very well. Play on's the call. Rutten sweeps it wide, but they're just under pressure at the moment, the Crows. They're going backwards. Shirley to Johncock. Rutten. Johncock. And delivers dangerously, but it's okay. It comes off. Shirley chips it forward. Bigland's marks. Just forward to the wing. Got a loose player inside. It's Rashudo. Well done by West. He's paid the mark. Dubious one. He holds the ball up. Signal long. Look out for the short pass. Rashudo hasn't had a big impact. Kicks it into the pocket. Henschel this time is effective from White. Morris, good little give. Cross. He chips it short to Ray. So the Bulldogs sense them lifting here. Around Rashudo. Onto the left boot. Beyond the wing. Power's got to make a real contest here. In comes Faulkner. Well done. Just dribbles it forward. Rutten. Will he get there first? Or will he allow it to go over? He does. So a boundary throw in between the forward pocket and left half forward for the Dogs.
Scott West's career best is 40. He's heading that way. There's still a good quarter and a bit to go. Adelaide have it at half-back. Goodwin. He's been very quiet by his lofty standards. In fact, he's had a dirty day. Bit of toing and throwing from Shirley and West. Nothing much in that. Throwing it half forward. Bulldogs into attack. Grant. The tackle, but he didn't have it. No, umpire said play on. Johncock again. Handball's out to Van Berlo. To Rutten. To Goodwin. Now McLeod. What will he do with it? He pops it into a one-on-one contest into the middle. Hargrave was the spoiler. Well done, Thompson. But that's a good win there for Boyd. Fed it out. That was beautiful hard ball get. Now Gilby to the 50 to McMahon. Handball. Clean bowled a couple of them. Cross will have another crack. Oh, all by himself in the goal square is Cooney. He'll kick his ball. The Dogs are back.
4, equaling his career best. And it's hard to know what the spark is for these sort of comebacks and revivals, but somehow from somewhere the Bulldogs have found something, and they're back to within 13 points, and here they go again. Baron Ray, free kick. Oh,
coming back to cross. Oh, no, it's going to be close
to a throw. It's a good one.
For a throw.
So, just what the Dogs didn't need. They really have gained some momentum. The pressure they're putting on the Crows at the moment is finding the Adelaide side out because they're fumbling, missing the mark with their disposals. John Cock back to Rutten. Crows now will go into slowdown mode. Just try and stop this momentum that the Bulldogs have built up. Retain possession. Matner.
And this is exactly how they played in the first quarter. This type of football didn't get them very far, but it's been their running game that got the Crows in a position where they are at the minute.
Bock.
And you mentioned the pressure, Chris. That's exactly what's got the Bulldogs back in the game.
Rutten. This is the sort of football that does infuriate fans because Bock.
Well, not really. You've just got to man up. You've just got to be strong enough in the mind that you're going to grab one that's going to force them to kick down the line, or you get a 50-50 contest.
Oh, I think that's what the Dogs have been able to achieve here. They do. They're forced to kick to a 50-50. White, the fist on Henschel. He's done all right, White. Faulkner puts his body in. So does Power. Wrestles it free. Boyd sweeps the handball superbly to cross. Can he find a target? Robbins from 50. Kicks to a vacant goal square. Getting back hard, but it's through for a behind. So had more time than he thought, Matthew Robbins.
4 behinds his kick today.
Margin is back now to just 12 points. The Crows led by 31 points earlier on in the quarter.
John Cock short to the pocket and finds Rutten. Now the next kick is a difficult one. He goes the short option and Cock finds some space. Play on's called. Now is that 15? Oh, just.
I can't see how that is 15.
No, me neither. Anyway.
But they've just got to lock down here, the Bulldogs, one-on-one footy.
Biglan's to the wing. Robbins to fist. That's fallen nicely here for Ray. Off to Johnson. Johnson kicks the long ball, looking for Grant in the pocket. Bounce favours Smith. Rowan Smith twisting and turning. Left foot snap. It's another one for the Doggies. Oh, goodness me.
Well, quarters, and this is the footy. Look, the Bulldogs have actually forced 2 goals out of playing just one-on-one footy where the Crows have slowed the game down, and they've been disciplined enough to be able to go on one, force a 50-50 contest, win the 50-50 contest, and then on the rebound score goals from it.
Last 10 minutes, look at that. Bulldogs dominant. They've kicked the last 4 goals of the game as a consequence, and now trail by just 6 points. Remarkable stuff here. Shirley wobbles it towards half forward, coming up to meet it. Morris tries to crash through the Bock tackle and does it superbly. Boyd, quick hands, effective cross, gets it over the top. Faulkner's got to go here. He sat and waited and allowed McLeod to take the initiative. Although Edwards slips over, McMahon pushes him off the ball. Faulkner comes back and does it well. Johnson!
Gee, that's almost throws him into the ground after he took the mark, didn't he?
Brad Johnson, a chance to level the scores. 11 minutes into this quarter, the Crows led by 31 points. And Brad Johnson will kick for goal number 3.
And Chris, we just saw the mistakes there. The slip over by McLeod. The handball wasn't great. Edwards, I should say. The McLeod handball wasn't great, but that's just the pressure that the Bulldogs have applied to the Crows in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Johnson from 50, drop punt. Is it swinging back? Yes, it's home! Scores a level at the G!
Take yourself shopping at Harvey Norman and Flexi Rent.
The Adelaide Crows, there's a long time to go, but they look good things early in this third term. The Bulldogs have kicked the last 5 and scores are level. What an amazing game the modern game is. Can change so quickly. And it's all going to come down to legs in the last quarter. We know the Dogs have been running on empty. We know the Crows have had this hard training regime. Looking ahead towards September action. Legs. Who's going to have the fresh legs in the last term? It's 50 out from the Crows' goal at the moment. And that's going nowhere.
Adelaide have lost its last 3 final quarters.
Yes, but you've got to remember that the Bulldogs 6-day break from Darwin.
And the Bulldogs have only won 1 of their last 9 final quarters.
So Riley wrestles the ball free. Farron Ray fighting with Doughty will get another ball up centre-half forward for Adelaide.
So what does all that mean, Steve?
Well, it means they're both not going to score in the final term. So whoever's in front of three-quarter time. Ball to the back. Chance for Matner. Oh, little fumble. Perceived pressure. Tries to crash through the Faulkner tackle and is nailed. Great stuff from Cameron Faulkner. They're away. Oh, gee, ordinary kick from Robbins. Superbly done on the outside of the boot, if you don't mind, to Rowan Smith. Smith out. Just ball to the wing. Crows have got 2 numbers back. That's why he's reluctant to kick it long. So he kicks it short to Hargrave, who's made position coming up from half-back. Rowan Smith kept running. Hargrave ignores him. Instead, kicks towards Griffin. Point of the square. He can run to 50. Drive it long. Is it offline? It is just offline. But the Bulldogs are in front. Who would have thought that at the 11-minute mark when they trail by 31 points in this quarter?
Graham Johncock to do the kicking in. Leading possession getter for the Crows. He's got 24. Goodwin's had a bit of it this term. He's up to 20. But they are rattled, the Crows. After leading by 31 points in this term.
And this is the type of game that's probably got them in a bit of problem. Understand why they're doing this in the last minute of this quarter, but they've got to get their run and carrying of the football back, because that's what dominated the game for them for at least a quarter and a half of this game.
Maybe they thought their work was done, Steve.
Maybe.
So playing out time here in the third term, as Trent Henschel, who's kicked 4 goals, is in the on the half-back line. Kicks to Doughty. So that'll be it, 3-quarter time. What a turnaround. The Bulldogs down by 31. Now lead by 1 point with plenty on the line in the last quarter. Stephen Silvani.
Yes, well, 6 goals to the Bulldogs. To the Crows, 4 goals, 1 in the last quarter. They actually kicked the last 5 goals of that quarter, the Bulldogs. They've got the momentum. The Crows need to get back to playing their true game plan, and that's run and carry the football.
Well, it is all down to fresh legs in the last term. Who will it be? The Bulldogs still trying to cement their spot in the 8. The Crows looking for that vital double chance come finals time. 5:31. Now they lead by 1 point in the final break. 11-7 to 10-12. Cooney 4, Johnson 3 for the Dogs. Henschel 4, Welsh and Bode 2 apiece for the Crows. West, career high is 40 disposals. He's got 33 already. Fresh legs, Stephen Silvani. That is going to tell this game.
Well, they've got some run there in Faulkner and Burson. Young Addison's a player that could probably go in the midfield. Obviously, Street, the ruckman, and Cameron White, key position player.
And the fresh legs for the Crows, Biglands and Clark alternating off the bench, but Rashudo, Riley and Doughty all that can provide some run in this final quarter for the Adelaide Crows. So they look very well poised if they can just get the momentum back. But, gee, what a performance by the Bulldogs in that third quarter.
We're talking about the recent times, the Crows' last quarters have been poor, but looking at that, the Bulldogs have won 1 of their last 9 final terms, so they're dropping off very badly in the last quarter in the second half of the season. But who knows? One thing's for sure, we're set for a great last quarter to get down to Christie Malthouse.
Thank you, Stephen. Well, as you would expect, both teams looking very tired during that break. But if I have to pick one of them as being the most energetic, it would be the Western Bulldogs. Actually, maybe energetic's not quite the right word. Perhaps the most enthusiastic during that huddle, it would be the Western Bulldogs. As you've mentioned, Adelaide going through that heavy training schedule at the moment. The Bulldogs coming back from Darwin. Adelaide is one man down, as I have mentioned, with Hayden Skipworth off with a hamstring injury. But Peter Street is also starting on the bench for the Bulldogs. He does look like he can come back on. He copped a kick to the shin, but he is starting on the bench.
Final quarters, thanks Christy. Last week, Port Adelaide 5-10 to the Bulldogs 1-3, and Fremantle 3-6 to Adelaide's 0 goals, 6 behind. So both teams coming off poor final quarters last week. Final quarter underway, the Dogs by a point. Goodwin beaten by West. Handballs it wide, Hargrave kicks around the body towards Robbins. Robbins and Johncock. Well done by Johncock initially. Robbins pushes him off the ball. Good handball to Power. Oh, he couldn't quite find the handle. Well done by Ben Hart. Went back in. Grant. Back to Hargrave. Off a step. Long to the top of the goal square. McMahon, one out. No one takes the mark. Matner wide of the play. Good tackle. Rowan Smith put the pressure on. Takes it over. Or is it? No, it's still in. Well done by Dowdy. Clears the congestion with a handball to Hart. Now off to Matner, and the Crows out of trouble.
Martin Matner tucks it under the arm and goes for a stroll. Carries the ball about 60 metres and it finishes off with a nice kick too as he finds Bock, who wheels around on the right, looks towards his captain. Rashudo can't take the mark. Mopping up is Gilby. Kicks to Cooney, who takes the mark on centre wing. Quick handball off to Ray, back to Cooney. He's got West in support. Good stuff by Thompson to hold it up for the Crows. And the umpire will bounce.
Cooney did pretty well there. I thought he'd initially lost control, but he was able to at least force a bounce.
There's a whistle on play here. It's going the Bulldogs' way. Advantage paid. Cooney didn't panic. Handball to Gilby. They've got the loose man here. Boyd kicks inside 50 to McMahon. Was he caught high? No, said the umpire. Crows out of danger. There's Johncock. Oh, terrible bounce for Edwards. Smith, though, went without it. West did it. Screws the ball around the body. Johncock will have to mark here. He does. Well done. Having a terrific game. He's up to 26 disposals and 7 marks.
Well, the last 3 times they've been into the forward 50, the Bulldogs, they haven't scored.
Ball to the wing. Well done by Chris Grant on Thompson. Numbers with the Dogs. Faulkner. Cross. Kicks it short. Mark taken by West. Loose player across half forward. Power. Loads up from 50. Brilliant smother coming from Matner. Into the forward pocket. Chance for Robbins. Johncock applying the pressure. Keep your feet, Matthew. He goes to ground. He gets a free kick for a push.
Well, really well done by Robbins under enormous pressure and was able to control the footy, and it was actually one of the Adelaide players. It might have been Johncock, or was it Massey that falls in his back here?
What are the odds, Chris Oates, kicking this goal?
Well, he came into the game from set shots, 21 goals, 7, but his output today, 4 behinds.
This is the toughest one.
It is an important kick because they have been in their forward 50 on 4 occasions so far this quarter. They need to score this goal.
Couple of deep breaths from Matthew Robbins. There's the angle, not an easy kick. He runs around, wants to pull it back, and he does. Great goal.
Bit chilly for that.
Interesting.
It's the Dogs by 7. Cross gets the clearance to half forward. Robbins attacks it. Well played by Matthew Robbins. Got it to West. Now to Boyd. Boyd can kick another one. Yes, he can. This is scintillating stuff from the Bulldogs. The acid now well and truly on the Adelaide Crows. This tough, experienced, well-drilled team. Can they respond? Amazing stuff, though, from the Dogs.
And the clearance is out of the middle. They're worth their weight in gold. They give you first crack up forward. And the Bulldogs have won the first 2 of this quarter. I think the Crows need Rashudo in the middle.
They need something, there's no doubt about that. Minson. And Clark to go at it. Clark times his leap beautifully. Gilbert's handball too fierce for Van Berle. Goes back and retrieves it. Now gives it to Edwards. Left foot towards half forward. Hargrave in front. Was he pushed? No. Gilby mops up. Cross. Back to Gilby. Oh, well done. cool and composed. Lindsay Gilbey delivers superbly. One of the arms of Farron Ray on centre wings. Ray inside to Faulkner. Dogs by 13 points. Good click, kicked across. Well, he's not paid the mark. Chance for West. They've got the numbers, the Bulldogs. Faulkner towards Johnson. Was he held? No. Umpire's letting it go. McLeod shares it with Edwards. A rare foray forward is a good one. The kicker's beauty. And it's marked by Rashudo, 60 from goal. Now going back to the goal square is Bode. Is it 50 metres against
Open
McMahon?
goal square.
Kicks it long. Going back, Welch is all by himself. Scott Welch will kick a goal. Don't know how that happened. Don't know how that happened because Scott Welch was 20 metres in the clear of the goal
I
square.
don't know how it happens, and Gilbey went to cover. He went to cover, but you just know Rashudo is capable of going long. He's a good 60, 65-metre kick. He was always going to go long, and that's where the Crows that's what the Crows basically did in the second quarter along to the goal square. Happened again on that occasion.
The Bulldogs' 7-goal streak comes to an end with Scott Wells kicking his third. And here they come again, the Crows. Goodwin to the 50, and his kick finds Bock.
He's quick, Bock.
The league leaders are responding. Bock doesn't waste any time. To the tip of the goal square, Henschel flew no mark. White. The youngster, oh, he's got to be good here. He's put West under pressure. He's wrapped up. Here's a chance for Bode to Rashuto. Little toe poke. Bock from the impossible angle. It's a rush behind. A goal the difference in favour of the Dogs. Crows turn to lift.
They mopped up pretty well there in the end with the Bulldogs. And work it to Faulkner. And he just calms down, settles. Been a frenetic pace. Cam White's made position at centre-half back. Needs to be precise here. He is. West, barely the 15, but it's okay. So the Bulldogs' turn now to just compose themselves, slow things down, retain possession. West kicks out wide to big Will Minson, coming in for just his third disposal.
And that's Scott West's equal career best, Chris, of 40 disposals.
What a game he's played.
He could end up with 50, you know, the way he's going.
He could.
There's still plenty of time.
7 minutes only into this final term as Minson loads up long. The back Ray, he interfere with Shirley. No. Well done by Boyd. Boyd somehow found the footy at ground level. Off to Cooney. Cooney's kicked forward. He's put the arm out. Wasn't penalised. Edwards fighting at ground level. Brad Johnson providing a contest, and they tie it up inside their attacking 50. The Bulldogs bounce 40 metres from their goal.
And the handball stat here, 19-9 in the Bulldogs' favour. They're starting to carry and run the football.
Clark against Minson. At the fall of the ball is Van Berlo. Bit of tunnel ball. Kick now towards goal. Across the face. Matner concedes the behind. So again, it's a goal the difference in favour of the Bulldogs. John Cock to do the kicking in. And goes to short option to Edwards. That's a good kick. Massey. Oh, but getting in from the side was Johnson. Terrific mark.
Well, it was poor
Massey
judgment.
should have done better.
Yeah, poor judgment by Massey. Look, the kick wasn't great, but at least that ball should have come to ground.
So Johnson into the pocket. Robbins with the bolt. He's brought to ground. He's got the free kick. Not much Tyson Edwards could do there.
Yeah, I'm not too sure whether it was a free kick. I reckon Robbins was a little lucky.
Robbins shot Cooney. And Cooney will line up for his fifth. Adam Cooney, what a day he's had. This will be a free kick.
Probably the arm over the shoulder was the one.
This for a career best 5 goals for Adam Cooney.
Adam Cooney has had a day out. 25 disposals, 9 marks, 5 tackles, 4 inside 50s, a couple of clearances, and this for his 5th straight goal of the match. Big build-up, disappointing finish.
So some relief there for the Crows. That's what's ahead of Graham Johncock. He prepares to bring the ball back into play. Not much on. Decides to go very wide, and well done by Simon Goodwin. It was a good kick coming in from Johncock. So Simon Goodwin, who's played a much better second half than first. 15 disposals in this second half. Well, chips it to Edwards. That's not 15. Great tackle from Cooney. Wraps Edwards up. What's the decision?
He didn't have any prior opportunity. I reckon it's a good call by the umpire. Look, the kick was short. Does he get a chance to release the footy? I don't think so.
Fair enough. So a bounce. Minson knocks it forward. Van Berlo somehow was able to get it to Massey. Goodwin off a step, hoists it high. Gee, it wasn't a great kick. In good position. That's a great mark taken by Boyd.
Johnson's
He's hard and tough. Needs to turn. Brad Johnson makes position. Handball off to McMahon. Johnson's still on, but he instead chips short. Ray needs to be strong, and the contest isn't. Dowdy. Chris Grant provides the spillage. They dive in on top of it. Chance for Rowan Smith, who's desperate. Matner is there as well for the Crows. Boyd. Gee, it's tough and hard. Bounce centre-half forward for the Dogs.
Good stuff there from Marty Matner at the bottom of the pack. 50 out from the Western Bulldogs goal. They lead by 8 points. Clark beautifully done to Van Berlo. Kicks loose off the side of the boot. Thompson gets there. Ball kick by Shirley to the wing. To Goodwin. Good kick to Welsh, who's just about within range here. As Scott Welsh decides to pass it off to Rashuto. No, not quite. Bode. Handballs backwards to Goodwin with strength, breaks the tackle. Gets onto the left. Simon Gooden can't get the distance. Oh, the bounce is still in play. With a chance for Henschel off the ground. Desperate by Cross. Kicking in danger. Oh, it's all happening out. It is desperate stuff.
Cross gets on with it quickly. Farron Ray glides across the turf at the MCG. 3 bounces, still he goes. And a 4th. Kicks it in behind the defence. Out comes Johnson. Chance for Smith. Oh, lost the handle. Regains it. Around the body. Power. Marks it. Off to Cooney. Cooney with the left boot. To the goal square. Robbins! Oh, if you don't mind, Matthew Robbins has marked 10 metres from goal.
That was an unbelievable mark. Off balance, strength. It was body on body. Let's have a look at that. Great catch.
Oh, dear. This has been one of the most unbelievable comebacks. They were down and out, trailed by 31 points early stages of the 3rd term. Matthew Robbins for his 2nd to extend their lead. He pops it through. Dogs by 14.
Look at this miracle mark from Matthew Robbins. How did he get that?
I tell you what, he was a little lucky. He actually got his hands into the face of Johncock. Got away with it. Good luck to him.
Robbins has got 2. The Bulldogs lead by 14 points. Clark grabbed it out of the ruck. Got it to Van Berlo. A high ball, but only as far as Gilby. And he wastes no time again as he finds West. This is a career best. 41st disposal for Scott West. 10 marks, 5 clearances. And he kicks to Hargrave. Past the halfway mark of the final term. Lots and lots and lots of time left. Plenty of time for Adelaide here. Hargrave kicks to the 50. Ball of the ball is Cross. He's immediately wrapped up and will have a bounce.
He's had a big game too, Cross.
He's got 28 next to his name. Goodwin's now the game high for the Crows. He's had a great second half. He's up to 28.
Bounce 60 from goal. Bulldogs end. Street decisively. Robbins. Oh, tackled, held a long time by Johncock. And we'll get a boundary throw in. And the Dogs, well, they've got a habit of upsetting the top side. They did it in 2004 when St Kilda were on the march. They beat them in round 12, and then again the West Coast last year in round 19 as Power dribbles it towards the top of the goal square. John Cock wrapped up by Robbins. Dowdy, a dubious-looking handball. He was able to get it away, though. Goodwin is able to mop up, chips it short towards Massey, and he has paid the mark in the back pocket. They've kicked 8 of the last 9 goals, the Bulldogs. Lead by 14 points. McLeod, clever kick inside the centre square. Oh, Burlow drops the mark. He took one look at Peter Street and dropped it. Got the free kick, though. Stevens towards half-forward. Harris almost a great mark. Numbers with the Dogs. Little towboat from West to Hargrave. His kick intelligent around the body. Grant marks on the wing.
But that was clever from West too.
Harris was good on the one-on contest.
Grant goes backwards to Harris.
Too early to milk the clock, Steve.
No one's bothering to stand on the mark.
Well, he might as well just stand there and wait for someone to come at him.
And now Rutten does, so Harris kicks as long as he possibly can. Street, oh, well done by Clark. Clark to centre-half, back to McLeod. Good run provided by Goodwin. Pops it over the top to Matner. Here's a nice build-up from Adelaide. Over to Henschel, who's got 4 goals next to his name. He chips to Bode. Well worked, Adelaide. And Matthew Bode's within range. He's kicked 2.
And that kick went about 12 metres.
It was good hard running through the corridor.
Yeah, it was. So Matthew Bode, 2 goals straight this afternoon. The Dogs lead by 14 points. He'll be kicking from about 51 metres out. Good kick. Never looked like missing. 3 to Bode.
So Adelaide, they're not going anywhere either. Street, great tap down to West. Handball, a hopeful one towards Rays, wrapped up by Van Berlo. The umpire will bounce just the attacking side of the centre for the Dogs. Bulldogs led by 12 points at quarter time. Crows by 12 at half time, but they did get out to a 31-point advantage early doors in the 3rd quarter. Wobbles it towards half forward. In front, Welsh. Morris wraps him up. We'll get another bounce. And now the Dogs by 8.
Been a great contest, that.
Bounce 40 metres from Adelaide goal. Street gets it down. Welsh again fighting at ground level with Morris. And again, a bounce. Scott Welsh, 3 goals this afternoon. Just his 2nd game back for the season. Biglands, well done by Rutten. Knocked it intelligently to Edwards, but he couldn't quite control it. Street's kick is marked by Goodwin. Overlap provided by Massey. Can he find a target inside attacking 50? Kick is out wide. Henschel, well done by White. Wrapped him up. Spills to Van Berlo. Great tackle from Ray. Bode's got it. That's another great tackle. The Dogs' pressure is still very intense. Van Berlo. Handball forward. Big Red Biglands has a ping from the boundary and brings it back. What a goal!
Rove, this is the way of the future.
Goal from the boundary line. It is a 2-point ball game. Bulldogs 93, Crows 91. Stakes are high in round 20 action. The clearance by Boyd goes out wide to Grant. Can't take the mark, has time to butter up. Just throws it on the boot inside 50. Cooney's got the front position here. Fisted away by Hart. A throw in 50 metres out from the Dogs' goal. Biglands against Street. Biglands the tap. Picked up by Goodwin. He's had a magnificent second half. 22 disposals in the second half to Goodwin after only 9 in the first 2 quarters. But the mark's taken by Hargrave. He's been called to play on. He stabs the kick. towards a teammate, but it's cut off by Thompson.
Thompson at half-back. Delivers to McLeod. 5-minute warning. McLeod hoists it long. Bigland's running hard in those final minutes. Now that's 50 metres. That is 50 metres. Peter Street, you just can't do that. And that is a very, very costly mistake. Can't grab the player if you're not in the contest. He's not in the contest. And he wraps him up.
He's saying he played on. I don't think so.
No, I think it's a fair call.
Patrick Swayze turned 50 this week. He looks a bit like him.
Oh, he's a dead ringer.
Peter Street coming from the ground. Brett Bigland's a chance to put the Crows in front of the G. He's missed it.
No, he hasn't.
He's got it. Crows in front.
Bidding chips. Red Bigland's 2 enormous goals for his team in the last quarter. Adelaide back in front by 4. 97 plays 93. The tap by Minson. Rashudo wins the ball. Gives it to Goodwin, who bangs it long inside 50. The big Pat fly is a chance for Welsh. Welsh around the corner. He's not going to get a goal. He's not going to get anything. But Adelaide will keep the ball in their forward 50. It'll be a throw-in the forward pocket.
Goodwin, 24 disposals in the second half of football.
Been outstanding. Crows deep into attack. Biglands gets it down. Faulkner kept his hands free. White will put Cooney under the pump. Handball wide. Gilby. Thompson. In on top of him. Cooney. Handball jars free. Cross drags it back in. Back to Cooney. They're fighting hard in defence here. And eventually they get it clear. Boyd. Smith. Cooney's loose inside. He gets the handball. Off to Brad Johnson, who puts the pedal down. He's away. 2 bounces. Shares it with McMahon. Jordan McMahon kicks to a one-on-one in the goal square. Long towards goal. It bounces through. Oh, a remarkable goal. Matthew Robbins celebrates. Goal of the Dogs. They're back in front. Jordan McMahon. What a kick. Great work from Cooney. Great work from Brad Johnson. He split the Adelaide midfield there. Composed step from 60 from Jordan McMahon. Robbins did his bit. It bounced through for a goal, and the Dogs lead by a couple of points.
That's as good as football you'd want to see. Sensational bit of play. Run and carry. 20 bounces they've had today, the Bulldogs, compared to the Crows 7. Crucial clearance, this one.
Dogs by 2. Minson got the tap, who went straight to Rashudo, who dished to Edwards. Doubles back. Now finds Matner. Gives it back to Tyson Edwards. Into time on well and truly. Kick into the middle, no mark. Play on, says the umpire. We will have a bounce. So on the quarters have travelled in this match. Plenty of goals in this last term, so it'll be a 30-minute, I reckon. Hart got it out. Now McLeod, can he weave some magic? He puts it inside 50. Thompson can't get control of the ball. Harris under pressure. Keeps it alive. Cooney's got to mark it at half-back. He does. Good mark. Under a lot of pressure from Mark Rashudo. Still time though for the Crows. Adam Cooney. 30-second disposal coming up. He's also kicked 4 goals.
Called to play on. Kicks it high and long. Contest. Big Will provides it. Burst. Knocks it towards West. He's wrapped up in the tackle. Not going anywhere. Umpire Jeffrey calls for it. A bounce. Attacking side of the wing for the Bulldogs. Minson and Biglands. Minson gets it down. McMahon, handball through the congestion to Cross. He scrambles it forward. Out comes Power. Great handball looking for Johnson. Oh, wasn't that great? Missed the mark. Edwards. Here's a chance for the Crows. Goodwin. All Grant was hard and tough. Free kick. Advantage called. Goodwin kicks it towards 4 foot. Faulkner needs to be good here. He dives back and on the footy. Gilby needs to be strong over it. Spills out. Chance barest possible margin in favour of the Dogs. They lead by 1 point.
We've got a Saturday afternoon special, Chris. What a game. Great game of Aussie rules football. Edge of your seat stuff if you're a Crows fan or a Bulldogs supporter.
Oh, great grab.
Marked by Morris under pressure. Chips to Smith at half-back. Smith finds Burse. This is his first kick in the match. And he goes backwards to McMahon, who'll just stop and prop. Or will he? No, go back to Burse. So it's the Crows' turn now to man up.
Well, they got one-on-one.
No idea how much time is left. I still reckon there's a couple of minutes on the clock. Burse kicks to a big contest. Oh, great mark by Massey. He wastes no time. He gets it to Matner. Now to Goodwin, who's been awesome in the second half. Goodwin into the middle to Edwards. Edwards wants a good bounce here. He gets it. Tyson Edwards, a little chip kick to the 50. Out in front of Henschel. Great tackle by Harris. Coming in there is Robbins. Now Burse again. Oh, it's on here for the Dogs. He kicks to half-forward the cross. He can just about go all the way, but he's going to stop and prop and keep possession of the footy.
Oh, back to Johnson, had to be strong in his play off the call, not 15. Brad Johnson hit the ground running, if you don't mind. Kicks it to Chris Grant, who marks sliding forward. He's marked 45 from goal. Kicks it back, mark taken by Brad Johnson. He just plays on, nonchalantly from 45. Kicks towards Power, who fists it through. One, no, in fact, it's over the boundary line. So a boundary throw in. Can't be long left, surely. 29 minutes gone, final term. Boundary throw in, deep in the pocket. Bulldogs into attack. At the back, one down by Dowdy. Boyd will be there first, wants the boundary line, gives it to Cooney, who runs over. Boundary throw in, half forward for the Bulldogs.
Still time for the Crows. We think. Goodwin smacks it forward. Well done by McLeod. West puts the Bulldogs back inside 50. Minson over to Boyd. Boyd into the goal square. It bounces. It bounces. Grant will see it over the line for another throw in.
Good result for the Dogs.
It is. Still
They
the Bulldogs.
they don't need a point from here.
Lead by 1 point.
Boundary throw in. Biglands knocks it down to Thompson, gives it up. Cooney, a snappy, puts it through. Adam Cooney's kicked 5, and the Bulldogs will win. They'll upset the top of the table. Adelaide Crows, that's it. The siren sounded.
Oh, look at the seams out there on the ground.
A remarkable win by the Bulldogs. They defeated the Crows by a point. By 7, in fact.
And they're in the finals, Chriso. Since the year 2000, the Western Bulldogs will play finals football, and they have scored an unbelievable win, coming from 31 points down in the third quarter to defeat the mighty Adelaide Crows by 1 point. What a game of football. In fact, make it, in the end, my apologies, Cooney's goal on the siren made it a bit better than that as we go down to Christy Mulhouse.
Thanks, Stephen. Scott West, how does it feel? That win has just assured you a spot in the final.
Really brought a tear to my eyes. It's just a great win, you know. Obviously they got a couple out, but we've got a couple out as well. And the way we fought back, it could have blown out there, but just a great group.
You guys, I mean, as you said, you've had a couple out all year. You've fought and fought all year. You just never give up, do you?
You can't afford to in this game. It's the way the game ebbs and flows. You know, you can be back in the game pretty quick, and that's what happened today. We persevered, and just a real credit to all the guys.
We saw Sydney win it last year with their teamwork. Your team plays like that. You just all play for each other. Is it a natural thing or something you really chalk up?
Yeah, no, it's something we really try to pride ourselves on, to playing for each other. I think when we don't play well, that's what's missing. We don't cover off. We don't really help each other out. Today was just a really exceptional day for that, and the result shows.
Well done.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
7 points, the final margin. I didn't put Adam Cooney's goal on the footy record, but a point would have done in the end. But what a great game of footy. And we're at the Adelaide Crow. Where do they place now, Steve, as far as the rest of the year goes? They'll be shell-shocked.
Well, they're wobbly, aren't they? Lost 3 of the last 4.
They had the game in control, didn't they?
They had it in control, but fantastic for this football club. They've, as you said, haven't played in finals since 2000.
Here's Rodney Eade when the siren sounded. Adam Cooney's kicked the goal. Oh, not too bad for Rodney Eade, quite controlled.
Yeah, very controlled, but as I said, great for this football club. They do it hard. And first gamer out there today, young Dylan Addison. He'll remember his first game of AFL football.
Will he what? There's the crowd, the Doggy supporters, as I said, celebrating their first finals appearance since the year 2000. We go back down to Christie.
Thank you, Adam Cooney. Congratulations. That was a fantastic win and a fantastic game by you.
Yeah, definitely. I think after last week, very disappointing. So Rocket was into us this week, and we knew we had a big chance ahead of us.
AFL is back on 10 in 2006. Harvey Norman brings the stadium to your home. Get front row seats for today's big game on 10 with this incredible widescreen experience. Get yourself into the thrilling live atmosphere of Panasonic's widescreen plasma TVs and home theatre systems. Grab a winning deal today from Harvey Norman. AFL on 10. Seriously.